Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you all here on a fine Thursday evening for Renegade Nation. We are going to jump right in. Got my co-host here backstage, Ron Coleman. Why? What? Okay, StreamYard. Can we do this right? Like, good Lord. There he is. There. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right, Ron. How you doing, sir?
Okay, thanks. How are you? Yeah.
Sorry, it has been a week. Those of y'all who saw me last night on the main channel have a good idea. I've been trying to mitigate circumstances this week. My daughter, car crash Tuesday. She's fine, thank God. Her car, however, is gone. So I'm playing catch up. I joke with everybody each and every year that Christmas, I love Christmas. I love the season, all the religious implications. But by God, Christmas every year for me, from a fundamental perspective, is a nightmare. Something always goes wrong, and this year was that. Y'all saw
This is wild.
Yeah. You haven't seen the pictures?
No, I've been kind of busy myself.
Understandable.
But go ahead, throw them up. Let's see.
Pulled them up last night. I mean, it is well.
And she 100%. She walked away without a scratch.
She's good. She is a strong athlete, which was helpful, but a bit sore, and she is a bit freaked out because this is the time of year where she is expected to be in peak physical condition for national competitions. So, been dealing with the emotionalism of an 18-year-old kid. Yeah, especially a girl from that perspective. So, yeah. It's fun. Let me I'll pull this up here. Hang on a second. Here's the picture. I didn't have it pre-shared in the main window, just so everybody is aware. A lot of people saw this last night on the main channel. Here we go. So, yeah. There's no coming back from that one for that car.
That's beyond what we call front end work.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh my gosh.
And look, we had some very generous super chats last night for the new car fund. I appreciate you guys. You guys were awesome on the main channel. But yeah, so I went and started shopping today, hoping to replace this weekend. The good thing was, Ron, from a legal standpoint, was that the other driver freely, willfully admitted fault. There was a third-party witness that also corroborated that statement because it was blatantly obvious. So my daughter, my 18-year-old, who this was her car, driving in a left travel lane where I live, and the other party to this incident was in a turning lane, a U-turn / left turn lane, and decided at the last minute, oh, this isn't where I have to go, and then juked over into the travel lane without looking.
Not a good plan.
Not a good plan. And then ripped the whole front end of the car off. Turns out, as we have since come to realize, that he was doing some sort of door dashing or Uber Eats kind of thing.
Oh, the complications now.
Yeah.
Let the insurance company work it out.
Exactly. I did I did have to chuckle a bit after realizing that my daughter was uh, you know okay by comparison. Um, still very stiff and sore as far as her muscles are concerned. I knew she was going to start feeling it 2 days later. But I did have to chuckle a bit at the fact that after the last couple of months in the social sphere of acknowledging the issues with illegal drivers, particularly those from the country of India, getting CDLs and stuff like this. That it was not lost upon me that the gentleman that struck her was also an Indian driver here, and because it was a bit
Is that like
funny.
being an Indian giver? They go backwards?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm here all week, folks.
It was a bit funny, the fact, Ron, that shortly after the accident occurred, that this gentleman's wife pulled up on the side of the road, not to check and bemoan the status of her husband, who he was also, thankfully, fine, medically, physically, insofar as we can tell, but just to simply grab a bag of Firehouse subs out of the back of the vehicle that crashed my daughter's car and did this damage, and then immediately take off with them.
In other words, she wanted to finish the delivery.
She needed to finish that was the assessment of the local police department as well, and the witness, the third-party witness. So,
well,
yeah,
there's something to respect about that. Assuming that the human cost had been evaluated and found to be satisfactory and everyone was okay, someone's waiting for a sandwich out there. Neither rain nor snow nor gloom of night, right?
Damn right.
Amazing.
It's been a week. And if that's
so, remember, you're going to church Sunday.
Yeah.
You got to, I don't have to tell you. I don't have to lecture you.
No, I was as thrilled as always that my family was safe, fine, and everything's okay. Cars can be replaced. We started the process.
And what was your daughter driving?
That was before that picture. That was a 2020 Hyundai Elantra.
And it looks like, I don't know the speeds or anything, but as Debbie said in the comments, car's total, daughter's fine, car did its job. Obviously,
exactly.
It looks like crush zones. The crush zones wasn't a thing when I was growing up. That's a something that only a generation ago didn't exist. When your car got hit on the front end, and I can tell you based on my 1970 Buick Skylark, my first car.
Buick Skylark. I feel like we're about to go into a My Cousin Vinny repertoire here. Well, that was the car. The Buick Skylark was the car in that film, Ron Coleman.
It was quite a car, and when it hit the embankment, the entire chassis absorbed. There was no crush zone thing, so I was fine. Embankment. They subsequently redid that embankment in Cranberry Station, New Jersey, because it was a badly designed turn. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you for the happy Hanukkah. I can't comment. I can't participate in chat tonight. Not that there's anyone watching or chat or commenting, but I've got a keyboard issue. Let's not get into it. I'm gonna just.
You know what?
It's temporary.
I love the fact that us old guys can coalesce on the technical issues. I mean, even though I'm a tech nerd, I still have issues with StreamYard. That being said, we're not having issues with super chats right now. I appreciate everybody out there. Thank you guys for joining us. We've got Marcus Quintus for $5, who gifted one. My kid needs a new bumper membership. So glad she's okay. Appreciate you, Marcus. Yeah, I know. She's fine. And Juliet, who is, quite frankly, one of the most amazing and incredible wrenches on YouTube. Not wrench, okay? One of the most amazing moderators on YouTube chat, Juliet. You did not have to do this. God bless you. We love you. I love you, boo. Good morning,
As they say
VR.
in the UK, Juliet, happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas. That is it. Morning, VR, Ron Coleman, and Valliantes. Thank you very much, Juliet. God bless you. Thank you so much for the 50 British pound sterling super chats. I got to give you, I tell you what, I know exactly what I'm going to throw your way here. I'm going to go back and find, where is he? Where is he in my queue?
Trash?
No, not that one. Not that one.
Let me start out by saying this. If I offend anybody today, I don't give a shit.
Well, that's always good for the show, but not that one.
I've got a lot of friends who are Democrats, and they haven't asked me for advice, but if I did, I'd tell them, look, you just got to try harder not to suck.
That's a real good one, too, but here's the one I really wanted for Juliet. Amen. And we've got another one here from John Gibson for $50. Wishing the best of the season to both of you and your families.
Thank you.
All the best. Thank you, John.
So much.
That's awesome, man.
I'll tell you a little secret. Tonight is my wedding anniversary.
Is it?
36 years.
36 years that Jane has not
No, she has. I assure you.
disappeared yet.
Oh, that's one thing she hasn't done. That would be it. I got her.
I'm like you.
Really nice.
Every year the wedding anniversary goes by, I go, it's another year she hasn't bailed out.
We have a saying around here. Whenever we hear bad news in the marital department, we always say, if we can stay married, anyone can stay married.
There you go, Ron Coleman. That's it. That's it. And look, I mean, you know, tis the holiday season, tis the Christmas season, the Hanukkah season. And I always joke every year because, Ron, I know you guys, like Hanukkah is not one of the, my understanding has always been not one of the big Jewish holidays. I mean, it's here's the crazy thing is that for the rest of the world, especially like Catholics out there, like we always think, oh, Hanukkah. We love, Hanukkah. God bless our Jewish brothers out there. And the Jewish guys are like, thanks, but we kind of don't care.
It's not that we don't care, but it's just the religious significance. It's not up there with the scriptural festivals. On the other hand, these are the holidays where we're on the grid. We're allowed to drive.
Yeah.
Allowed to live stream. We're allowed to go to JD Vance's house for a Hanukkah party, which I did Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I didn't go to the White House Hanukkah party because I'm never invited to the White House Hanukkah party because why would I be? But I have I have a little bit better relationship with the Vance camp. So that was very nice. That was
one day your dreams will be fulfilled. It's like a Disney story. One day my prince will come, so.
That's racist.
We try here on Valliant Renegade. We try our best to be racist as possible, all for comedy. So, yeah. Thank you, John Gibson. We appreciate you for the $50 super chat. I tell you what, let me throw something at you.
He's going to eventually actually send me some of this, I guess.
Yeah, we need to do a square up at the end of the year for taxes, if nothing else. That's.
You've got little credits coming your way too.
There's that.
Hi, I'm Tom Michaels, and I want to invite you to my new laundromat, Whites Only Laundry. We specialize in only washing in white laundry, so your linens, socks, and undershirts will look fresher than ever. By focusing just on white laundry, our prices are 25% lower than the other guys. Plus, get an extra 10% discount by singing our slogan at the register. Hope to see you soon.
And on the heels of that, and because Ron had to open his mouth complaining about, the whole super chat situation, Marcus Squintus with another $50 super chat here, lighting it up at the beginning of the show. Happy anniversary, Ron, he says. Now, why the hell are you on Valliant's live stream and not taking that wonderful wife out tonight? Congrats. And JD Vance's party. What a flex, bruh. I added bruh.
So Jane don't like going out so much.
That's
because
like my wife.
She has to be seen with me.
That's like Mrs. Renegade. It's.
She's a homebody. But like I said, I got her something real nice. Real nice.
There you go.
She usually makes me go back to the store because it's too nice. We had a good year, so she put it right on and she's keeping it. It's real nice.
And how many children have you and Jane had?
We have 4 wonderful grown masculine children.
He will be a masculine child, Luca Brazzi.
We have many grandchildren because of our concerns about the evil eye. I will not give you a count, but thank God we have more than we're holding up our end, Mr. Musk. I can't compete with Mr. Musk in many respects, including the number of offspring or the number of wives, for that matter.
The amount of seed,
baby mommies.
Yeah.
Well, we are definitely holding up our end. Unfortunately, however, I still haven't gotten a good answer whether Jewish people are white. So I don't know how that cuts. Depends, I guess, on what the chat thinks.
We need a new racial breakdown here from a mathematical statistic. You've got like white. Is it white Hispanic? Or white non-Hispanic, and then is it white Jewish or white non-Jewish, right? So this has come up before, but this week I saw a story about how someone pointed out about how Hispanic crime. Oh yeah, it was okay. It was Michael from Daily Wire. Michael. Oh, Mike Knowles?
Michael Knowles.
Yeah. Okay.
About how Hispanic crime is tracked as white.
Yes. Yes, in many cases. Yes.
in many, many cases. So
Like all too many cases.
now,
That's been, and we can talk about that later because we have some criminal activity to talk about. This tragic Rob Reiner story. Just heart-wrenching, absolutely heart-wrenching story. Talked about it a little bit last night on the main channel from the Hollywood side. We're going to get to more of the legal perspective. I actually belted out, Ron, during the show as I was going through some of the verbiage selected by Deadline Magazine, personal use of a deadly weapon. I'm like, Ron's not here tonight, but where the hell is Sean? Where is Felon Attorney? Where is he in the chat? He was not there last night. I am blaming Sean for not helping me out. No, we're going to get to this. Marcus Quintus, though, thank you for the $50. You get the Whites Only Laundry follow-up, bro.
Hi, it's Tom again from the laundromat that's been in the news, and I really want to apologize. I definitely should have realized that the name Whites Only Laundry sounds racist, is racist, and that was not my intention at all. But we've changed the name and fixed the problem. Whites Only Laundry is now No Coloreds Laundry. It still gets across that we can't wash colored clothes without any of the racial connotations of whites only. Plus, to make up for our terrible mistake, come on in before Friday and you'll get yourself a free t-shirt. Just don't wash it here because it has all these colors on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Thank you. Thank you, Marcus Quintus. We appreciate you guys.
where's that from?
That is an OG YouTube video from, oh God, that must be 15 years ago now.
Yeah, that's pretty OG looking.
Yeah, I mean, it's look, the OG YouTube is still the best YouTube. If you go back and find the parodies that were created on YouTube from like 15 years ago, I tell you what.
Before YouTube became so corporate, in other words.
Exactly. A lot of people on this channel have never seen this. I will play it. If somebody wants to send in a Hanukkah Christmas gift of $100 on the Super Chat, I will play it. I'm going to tell you what, you will not be disappointed. It is still to this day, in my opinion, one of the funniest goofs, spoofs, TV commercials ever produced for YouTube. Some of y'all have seen it. Many of y'all have not. $100 Super Chat, we will play it. I promise you. So anyway, but that being said, Ron Coleman, this has been a wild story this week. I want to talk about this tonight, kind of cover it, because this is going to be one of the, I'm assuming, one of the most public trials that we have ever seen in the modern era. We've also got situations out there with Brown University, a lot of consternation going on out there about that. But this thing with Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, and their son, this is insane.
Drugs, man. Addiction.
That's what it seems like.
Although, I mean,
I talked about this.
Evidently, there was lots of psychological stuff going on, but I mean, can you separate how you separate that out from the drug abuse? I don't know.
I don't know either. I really and truly don't know. And we talked about this last night, and I told the story of, my first introduction to Rob Reiner as a child, growing up in the 80s. A lot of people have the same memories out there. This is, and a lot of people out there, and I feel a certain sense of remorse, I guess, for the having to preface statements about Rob Reiner, only because we are in such a hyper politicized climate today, and people have complained about this, and I get it. But I tell folks, I'm like, look, I understand, especially on this channel, on the main channel, most of our audience is very conservative. Rob Reiner obviously was not, right? But I preface the statements with, look, guys, Rob Reiner and I sitting down at a luncheon would probably disagree on damn near everything in a political debate. However, that does not assuage the fact that this man was a human being and that he was, frankly, one of the greatest Hollywood storytellers of the last several decades. He has made some of the greatest films of all time, and he was brutally, as far as we're being told by police reports, brutally, tragically murdered, allegedly now, by his own son. All of the politics and the disagreements for me as a human being go out the window. All I see right here is a human being who was tragically, horribly, allegedly murdered by his own son. That is horrifying as a father. And that's all that matters right now. That's it. That's it. That's it. Because look, we've made Rob Reiner jokes about, meathead and all this kind of stuff on the channel over the years for obvious reasons. He is very he was very political in his life.
Very. I mean, it's turning out to be people taking a deeper dives now.
Yeah. I mean,
not just like a Hollywood guy with an opinion.
No, he hated Trump. Absolutely hated Trump.
But he was in on it. He was in on it.
He was. And here's the thing for me, Ron, is that none of his opinions politically, none of his actions politically excuse this egregious, horrific crime that was committed against him and his lovely wife, Michelle. And it is heartbreaking to think that the Leos, the law enforcement in Los Angeles County, have zeroed in, and the district attorney's office have zeroed in on his own son as the prime suspect, which they feel apparently confident enough to have levied charges, 2 counts of first-degree murder against him. This is, as the father of 3 children, as the father of a 15-year-old, almost 15-year-old son, renegade junior myself. I mean, to me, this is horrifying as a father. And just, I mean, like we're gonna find out, what brought Nick to this point. And there's comments by the attorney in the arraignment where the attorney asked for a, and I don't want to use the wrong terminology here, Ron, but either a deferral, an adjournment, a recess to basically come back after the new year. They had an arraignment hearing earlier this week, Ron, and the defense attorney said, Your Honor, we would like to, delay this until after January 1st, so I basically have time to confer with my client. But some of the comments that he made in there seemed a little, there's some questions that I want you to go into, and maybe give us your lawyerly advice. That being the setup, Ron, let me get to this first, because we made a call to the chat.
Right. And
the chat responded. For $200, a proper 199, Doc Hollywood says, play it. So in the vein of the classic YouTube, one of the most legendary YouTube videos of all time, one of the most legendary goof YouTube commercials of all time. Oh, God darn it. It's here. Where did it go? We're going to play this here for Doc Hollywood, who threw this in. And thank you, Doc. Doc sent in some love last night, sending in more love tonight. And we thank you guys for it. I just had it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to scroll through as I'm doing this. I had it up, and I had to refresh the StreamYard page. Dag nabbit. Where is it? I had it right here. I'm going to give you all this as promised. Ron, vamp for me while I'm trying to find this. It's in my queue. I have to scroll until I find it again.
He's going to find it.
Oh, here it is. I just found it. Okay.
That was an easy vamp.
I know. Thank you for the easy vamp. Here we go. Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage.
Courtesy of Doc Hollywood.
That's it.
Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. Better come down here, get some of this shit. You like to eat? America loves to eat. So why not open up somewhere America can sit down, enjoy a meal, and get their feet rubbed? We'll fry anything you want for $5.99. As long as it's friable or edible, we're gonna make it deliciable. We will fry parts of the chicken you didn't even know was friable. The beak, the feathers, we'll fry candy bars. All that European stuff that you don't really normally eat, we'll bring it down here and fry it for you. Ask McDonald's to fry something other than what they normally fry. Guess what you're gonna get? Nothing. If it fit through the dough, I'll put it in the fryer. Hell, this is a dinosaur. All our meats are gently tenderized to their optimum deliciousness. We got fine dinosaur meats. Took my money, made me pay child support. Come on down here and get you a slice. Once they get your social security number, it's over. Motivated, 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 motivated. So friends, let's just decide you don't want no barbecue. Well, that's fine too. Why not let one of my foot specialists or myself perform our magic? Look at that, don't they look wonderful? If you really pay me enough, we'll massage your feet in any of these sauces also. Success is the rule down here at Jones Good Ass Barbecue and Foot Massage. So go ahead and give me a call or find us on the worldwide internets at the new website. That's JONES BigAssTruckRentalAndStorage.com/Jones Good Ass Barbecue and Foot Massage.html.
Excuse me, did you call number 52?
Did you hear me call number 52?
Y'all got to understand. Okay, when that thing came out, millions of views. It was one of the funniest things on the internet. This was probably now at least 15 years ago. If that thing came out today, it'd probably have like 300 million, like 500 million around the web. I mean, that's the equivalent of when that thing came out. That was OG classic comedy goof YouTube videos that got put out there, and everybody loved it. It was a huge hit. Thank you, Doc Hollywood. We appreciate the support, man. Thank you very much. We love us some Jones, big ass truck rentals and barbecue and foot massage.
Now back to the vicious murder of one's two parents.
I know, not much of a segue, but there it is. So here's the deal. I had questions last night about this issue of, Deadline used this language, and I'm not sure if it is something very specific to California, the personal use of a deadly weapon. So as of right now, Ron, Nick Reiner is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder, which carry with them a sentence each of life in prison, maybe concurrent, maybe consecutive. But there was a suggestion of an aggravating factor based on a quote-unquote personal use of a deadly weapon in California. I mean, this was a knife attack, is best we know.
It's kind of a weird thing. You get, I don't really understand the history of why assault or murder with a deadly weapon is worse than just choking somebody to death.
Exactly. Like why
stomping their head.
I understand, Ron, like in most states we have laws. Louisiana, here in Louisiana, Texas. In fact, most states out there, if you were to go look at the statutes that they have implemented, you will find that some of the most ardent Second Amendment favor states, the Texases, Louisianas, the Floridas out there, also have the most strict aggravating factor statutes out there for the unlawful use of a firearm. Now that I understand, But in California, like, allegedly nobody is allowed to own a gun. But they have a law out there that according to Deadline magazine, we covered it yesterday, like, okay, 2 counts of first-degree murder for Nick Reiner right now. But it's being aggravated to the point where they're suggesting he could get the death penalty because he used a deadly weapon, but it could be a machete from a garden shed. It could be a kitchen knife, but
it doesn't have to be a gun. Does not have to be a gun.
Yeah.
Using a deadly weapon is a sentencing enhancement in California. And I looked up after you and I briefly during our extensive pre-show production meeting.
Yeah.
I looked up this concept because I'm not a California lawyer. And of course, I'm also not a criminal defense lawyer, but personal use doesn't mean as opposed to corporate use or impersonal use.
I just found the language curious. Yeah,
it is curious. So what it means is you used it. You didn't just have it on you. You didn't just have it on you. You see, I think. Sentencing and you have a couple of things going on here. You've got sentencing enhancements. You also have this concept of felony murder.
Yeah.
When if you go into a bank to do a stick up as part of a crew, and one guy loses his head and shoots the guard,
right?
You can be that's not personal. The murder is not personal to you, but under the doctrine of felony murder, you can be charged with murder because you committed a felony. Depending on, this is true in most states. I think there have been a couple states where they've gotten rid of the doctrine of felony murder, or they have softened it. But what I'm getting at here is that there are these constellations of criminal charges that are available to prosecutors, as there should be when it comes to violent crime. And it's kind of interesting here because we know there's I don't want to be too quick to politicize. This has nothing to do with Rob Reiner's and his late wife's political views at all. But
yeah,
in California, as in most blue states, especially in the blue cities, violent crime is basically not punished.
Yes.
And
yes.
Here is a wealthy white man who has been viciously murdered.
White, like Stewie Griffin.
Right.
Why do you say it so weird? Say whip. Say whip. Whip. Yeah. No, I get you.
It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, look, you have the. I imagine that among the things that the lawyer wants to do, is to get to arrange for a psychological exam or psychiatric exam.
Yeah,
I don't know where in the process that would normally take place in California's criminal procedure, but it's just so absolutely awful.
It is bizarre. And I mean, like I said, you look at some of the most diehard like gun rights states out there. We all have these things. And there does need to be a degree of segregation observed here, right? Louisiana, my home state, for example, we're a hardcore 2A state. There are probably more guns per capita in the parish, think county, for the other 49 states of you out there. There are probably more guns per capita in the parish that I live than people in most counties in the rest of the state. The thing is that, you know, again, we cherish the Second Amendment here in Louisiana. We cherish and protect and respect the individual's right to own, possess, and carry either open or concealed firearms as per the Second Amendment here. Matter of fact, I mean, look, Louisiana has now become, as of a year ago, a constitutional carry state. That said, many of you out there know, I have, regardless of the new constitutional carry issue here in Louisiana, I have applied and maintained a CCP, a concealed carry permit, or a CHP, depending on what state you're in, a concealed handgun permit, since the day I turned 21. I'm 46 now. I've been carrying a gun concealed for over half my life. I just went to renew it this past weekend. Even though Louisiana is now a concealed carry state by constitutional edict, meaning you don't have to go get a CHP anymore in Louisiana to be able to conceal carry a gun. All you have to do is not have been adjudicated through due process of law as a felon who cannot exercise their Second Amendment right anymore. But I still go through the classes and the certification and still get the license that looks like my Louisiana driver's license. I have 2 licenses.
I'm sure Mr. Branco would appreciate your doing that. It's a very prudent thing to do, because if God forbid something happens, you want to be able to demonstrate that you're trained, you're careful, you're conscientious.
Yeah.
And also, you also want to be trained and careful and conscientious.
Well, there's that. There's also some advantages to it from the standpoint of that you, it accelerates the process when you go into an FFL, federal firearm licensed gun dealer, to purchase a weapon. And it, like I said, from my standpoint, it's also just a matter of I've had this for over half my life. I'm going to continue it. And the beauty is that the constitutional carry is one thing, it's great, but having that second, it looks exactly like a driver's license. So when I get pulled over, if I get pulled over, it's been a long time since I've been pulled over in Louisiana, but if I get pulled over, police officer Leo approaches my window, license and registration. The first thing I do is I hand them 2 things. They get my driver's license and they get my concealed handgun permit. And I say, officer, I'm licensed to carry. I have firearms in the car. I'll retrieve my documents, but just, depending on where they are, be aware that my documents might be sitting right next to an FN 57 or a Sig Sauer 365. So, there's ways to do this.
Well,
not every state obviously does this. So but the point is, when I read the language from places like California about this kind of thing with personal use of a deadly weapon, I'm thinking, like, it's a little foreign to me, because nobody in California can own a gun without an act of Congress, it seems like. So, yeah.
Well, so Harmeet Dillon has established a Second Amendment task force within the Civil Rights Division that she heads. The only thing she ever hit was me.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the first time that the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department or the United States government, really in any meaningful official respect, has acknowledged that the Second Amendment to the Bill of Rights is a civil right.
Yes.
And that its infringement is an infringement of a civil right, which is a hell of a thing.
It is. I keep wondering what dreams may come. And in this case, what and when day may come that California is brought to heel on this. And not just California, but places like New York, New Jersey, throw in Illinois, all these other states that have have basically suppressed, in this layperson's opinion, completely unconstitutionally, the citizens' rights in those states from availing themselves of something that, in my opinion, is so clearly illustrated in the Constitution as being an unassailable right. No, you don't have to go through extra hoops, file for a permit to even buy a gun or be a gun owner, wait God knows how long and all this kind of stuff. No. Like where I'm from in Louisiana, I can go down to my range. I can talk to my bros down there. Many of them are retired Leos who run the shop. The guy who's the general manager there, who is super sharp, conducts all of the concealed carry permit classes, all the training classes, who is also a wizard of a gunsmith, who puts a bunch of new fun toys on some weapons I have. They're all former law enforcement officers. Like, it's so easy here to do this because it's supposed to be simple and easy. You know, hey, you don't have a criminal record. You're not a convicted felon. You don't have a record of violent crime, or you've been adjudicated not through due process of law to be enabled to exercise your Second Amendment rights. What would you like? That is how it's supposed to be. And I realize that's offensive to some people out there, but that is how it's supposed to work. By the way, again, the next phase for the government is going to become they're going to be coming after the FRTs, these new things. Just get ready for it. That's why I've been buying them up, and that's why I've been telling everybody else to buy them up. Ron, I don't know if you know what FRTs are. They're the new things, the forced reset triggers. Go watch Brandon Herrera talk about these kind of things. They are, here's the thing, somebody eventually, as you know, American capitalism at its best, right, was going to develop something that would be in compliance with federal law, specifically the machine gun law from the 1980s, the Reagan era, because, Ron, automatic firearms are not defined by the gun itself, defined by the trigger mechanism. So forced reset triggers just basically means that the trigger and the gun itself still operates fully in compliance with federal law in a semi-automatic fashion. Pull the trigger one time, one cartridge is spent. You have to reset the trigger, pull it again, another cartridge is spent. In a fully automatic weapon, you hold the trigger back, the trigger doesn't move, and the rounds just continue to expend until the magazine is empty. A forced reset trigger means that if you have a strong enough finger, you hold that trigger back, it's going to automatically reset for you over and over and over again. And the effect, in terms of timing,
pretty close to just
pretty
keeping,
close. Yeah, it's pretty close. So this will be the next phase. I'm availing myself lawfully of what is available right now before Congress does something dippy again. But yeah. So, any case,
quite the tangent, Valliant.
Quite the tangent. I'm good at these. I will say it's been a long day. I'm a little slow. I didn't even tell Ron this. I should have told him this. So right before the show started, about an hour before I got home and I texted you, I had to go to the dentist, and I had a mouth full of Novocaine. So I'm thrilled at the fact that I'm able to do the show with apparently not too much interruption there.
Yeah.
But yeah. A little slow to the take, folks, so pardon me tonight. I had a filling that fell out last week. And yeah, so I went in today and they shot me up. I got home at about right about 2 hours before we started the show. So, in any case. But let me ask you this. The going back to the Rob Reiner thing. The DA and we covered this last night. He made a statement. I'm going to see if I can find it, but I'll give you kind of a close approximation, and I want your opinion on this. They went to arraignment, and the DA asked for a continuance, I guess, for lack of better words. I might be wrong on that one. Let's go till after the first of the year. And he said, because his words were, this is a very, very complex situation. They didn't want to, the judge said, hey, are you guilty, not guilty, or no contest? And his defense attorney's answer was, Your Honor, this is very, very, very complex. I need more time with my client, blah, blah, blah. My initial reaction on the show last night on the main channel was, as a layperson, that seems to suggest to me that maybe they want to go for a complex defense. Maybe it is insanity. Like, you don't want to say guilty, not guilty, or no contest because you want more evaluation. Or I suggested Ron Coleman, and I don't know the laws in California on this one, but I know the ones here in Louisiana, especially for like 2A self-defense, hence the concealed carry discussion, even though lengthy, I apologize, was to say that maybe they want to go for an affirmative defense, meaning that, Nick Reiner is going to plead, yes, I killed them both, but, and they go into the but. They go into the affirmative defense of there's some self-defense justification, or the parents he's going to claim this and that, or insanity. Ron, when a lawyer does this, what do you think the lawyer is going for with this request for deferral?
Well, he's going for a deferral. I mean, as a general rule, when you're a defendant, whether it's in a civil case or a criminal case, you always, not always, but you very frequently want more time. And it does seem reasonable to say that he wants to work a few things out before entering a plea. You can change a plea, but it's better if you can avoid changing a plea.
Yeah.
And it is certainly intriguing. I don't know under California.
This is the lawyer's comments, by the way. I went and found it real quick. Just if this helps you out any. This is Nick Reiner's lawyer's remarks. First of all, most importantly, this is a devastating tragedy that has befallen the Reiner family. Our hearts go out to the entire Reiner family, Jackson told reporters outside of the courthouse. And this is Alan Jackson, by the way, defense attorney. He added that there are, quote, very, very complex and serious issues that are associated with this case that need to be thoroughly but very carefully dealt with and examined and looked at and analyzed. A lot of rhetorical thesaurus there, but
yeah, well, actually, I mean, it's a little bit. You have to be a little bit reluctant to second guess somebody who is speaking. Was talking off.
I get it.
Off the cuff.
Yeah,
thoroughly but very carefully dealt with. I mean, thoroughly is carefully. It might have been. He might have said thoroughly, very carefully, yeah. I wouldn't want to get hung up on that.
No, I know. I got you.
But yeah, you're again. My inclination is to think that he might have been stoned, which doesn't get you off the hook. But
would it be a mitigating circumstance to maybe assuage a death penalty claim? Because that is what's being suggested here. And to go down here to this, I think it was also in this article. Here we go. Citing special circumstances, a sentence enhancing allegation of, and again, as I mentioned, deadlines verbiage here, allegation of personal use of a deadly weapon, which again is somebody from down south. That's legal language that's a little bit foreign to me. District Attorney Nathan Hochman noted that Hochman, I'm sorry, noted that Reiner could face not just life in prison without parole if found guilty, but possibly the death penalty, which I didn't even know California still had. So I'm assuming that part of me wonders the statements by the defense attorney in this case are there to try to get a little bit more time to work with his client, maybe to hopefully negotiate something with the prosecution that would take the death penalty off the table. Does that sound reason? I don't know. I'm asking.
I would say, again, I am just one increment past you on my insight on this because it's not my area of practice.
I get you.
I would,
but you know the law way better than I do. That's why
maybe I do, but I would say this: California may have the death penalty in place, but if I were a criminal defense lawyer, I would imagine that I'm negotiating my way out of a death penalty is probably not front and center. Not because anybody wants his client to get executed, but because I just think it's such a really unlikely thing to happen in California.
Gotcha.
To get a jury to actually put someone to death in 2025 for virtually, and you know what? I believe that there are California juries, there are Los Angeles juries that would probably put someone to death for killing a dog. But for killing a person, I think you would have a really hard time. So I imagine that, you know, it's pretty intriguing. You know, it's pretty intriguing. But for all I know, it happens in 50% of cases. They ask for more time before entering a plea. So I'm simply admitting my ignorance.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. I found this commentary, you know, and again, this is a high profile case. And to be fair, we're all paying attention to it. Or at least most of America, I would imagine, is paying more attention to it with far greater scrutiny than they do 99% of the other homicide cases that come across the desk.
Including cases where people kill their own parents. I mean, yes. If you're letting YouTube just choose videos for you, as one does sometimes, and it decides that you've been watching a lot of true crime, and all of a sudden the crap that comes up, my God, the things that go on in this country that a middle-class person would never dream of, in white trash America. And ghetto America,
white trash America.
It is really, really distressing because what we are led to believe happened to Rob Reiner. The only reason it's news is because of the prominence and wealth of these people.
Yeah.
Because, as you say, these kinds of crimes happen all the time among the much less, shall we say, privileged classes, and they make local news, and they're horrible. But that's what makes this news.
It is, and to your comments there, just I think for the audience's sake, and Ron, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but when you say privileged, there's this mindset out there about what that word means. And I agree with you. I agree with your statement, the more privileged out there. But I want to, from my own standpoint, I think of it from a perspective of, as you said, the notoriety. Rob Reiner is a famous name. He's Hollywood famous. And by extension, because he has been 5 decades of Hollywood famous, all the way back, as we talked fondly last night.
And really 2 generations. I mean, his father was a giant.
Huge. Yeah, Carl Reiner. My God, back from the Dick Van Dyke Show. I mean, Carl Reiner was one of the funniest men that ever lived, bar none. And, he has the privilege from the standpoint of notoriety, not because he was white, not because he was Jewish, not because he was wealthy, but because he was famous from a social standpoint, and he has that elevation because the Hollywood media, the Deadlines, the Hollywood Reporters, the Variety magazines, so on and so forth, are understandably, I'm not blaming them for this, they're understandably going to zero in on such a tragedy like this because he was one of their own. And the Hollywood media is something that is automatically, by the American cultural zeitgeist, picked up at a national level and is going to go out there. So yes, this type of tragedy is going to get a much higher degree of visibility and scrutiny than probably almost any other crime of similar stature this year or next, because of what it is. That doesn't make it any less or more tragic than any other crimes out there. But again, this is one of those things to where it is awful. And if this can be, if there's any, and this sounds terrible, but please don't take it this way, if there's any good that can come from this horrible event, it is a teachable moment for America out there to let's hope something like this never happens again. Of course, as always, we can't be perfect. We can't stop every crime. But when you see something like this, and again, maybe part of this for me is something that is, as a father with children, anytime you see something like this to where a son, we're talking about patricide and matricide here. We're talking about a son that murdered, allegedly, the son murdered mom and dad. It is horrible. And it's probably one of the most egregious crimes that could be committed. I mean, not just from a legal standpoint, but from a historical and, pardon me, this offends anybody, from a biblical standpoint, historical standpoint, is just one of the most horrible things. So I'm sure this is going to be something that is going to be covered wall to wall by quote-unquote law tube out there, and I'm sure this trial probably is going to have cameras in the courtroom. It's Los Angeles. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, it's up to the judge, I guess, Ron, right? If there are going to be cameras in the courtroom.
It depends on the state. Depends on the state, and I think in California that's right.
Yeah. So, any case. All right, let me catch up on some of these super chats. We're going to talk about some of the other tragedies this week. This has been a bad week for tragedies, for sure. Brown University out there in Rhode Island. This is wild, the stuff that's been going on. But let me grab some of these first. Marcus Quintus for $5. Gifted one. My kid needs a new bumper. Oh, thank you. We got that one earlier. Debbie for $5. Car is totaled and daughter is fine. Car did its job. That's a good thing. Amen to that. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. I will pass it along to the daughter that many of the Renegade Nation has known for years, and she gave herself this name as Sparkle Bitch. So she loves it. She's like Sparkle Bitch. She likes it.
I just saw something astonishing in the chat that I didn't know about.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, packing protons and Mark. Take a look at it. Apparently, the Brown shooter killed himself.
Okay. I was about to pull this up. Police set to breach the Brown suspect storage unit. So, okay. I'm curious about this, and I was, when I shared it because it was interesting what was going down, I'm curious, and I genuinely don't know. Obviously, I do not want to be undue to an individual who is innocent, but there was a, pro-Palestinian and anti-Israel certain individual that had his page completely eradicated from the Brown website, whose physical appearance, I mean, uncannily matched that of the alleged shooter with the video that the police provided. I don't know if this is it the same individual or not? But we'll get there. Thank you, Packing Protons, to alerting me to that. Ron, if you want to try to Packing, can you tag us in something that you've seen? I'm going to read some super chats, and then that way we'll pull that up. I'm going to go through this because this has been there's a lot of issues in this country, as there are in many countries around the world, particularly Western Europe, where, quite frankly, and I've made no bones about this, I'm not apologizing about it, we are entertaining far too many foreign folks who, not because they're foreign, I don't care. God bless them. Come here, visit. But there are too many foreign folks that want to come to Western areas of the world that have no compunctions about not assimilating and not becoming part of these Western societies, and they're coming here just to cause trouble. Not all of them, but way too damn many of them has been the case. And this might be another thing. Archer Merchant for $10, little something for another great show this evening. Thank you, Archer. We appreciate you. Marcus Quintus for $5. I'm a firm believer that the movie Grumpy Old Men is a training video for my later years. Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men are two of the greatest comedies of all time. And Ron Coleman could have starred in both those movies. You know, have you ever, you know, one of the ones movies I'm talking about?
Which two?
Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men.
Yes, I had a friend in law school who said to me, Ron, you don't remind me of Walter Matthau. You are Walter Matthau.
Yes! That makes me Jack Lemmon, so that means I'm gay.
That actually is. Jack Lemmon was also a very, very talented actor.
Look, Walter Matthau and I mean, that was like, they couldn't go back and make The Odd Couple again because when they made those movies, they didn't have the licensing rights. So they did the next best thing to going back and trying to grab Norman Lear's classic stuff. And they had Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon get back to do basically the same characters of Oscar and Felix, but not be Oscar and Felix, different names, put them in Minnesota or wherever they were. I think it was Minnesota, ice fishing. Those were some of, I so miss movies like that. The brilliance of those films. Archer Merchant for $5. Also, did you see the questions the son was asking at Conan's party? Very odd, asking about being famous names, etc. No, you're talking about Nick Reiner? I did not. Again, this is going to be a huge story, I think, come 2026. If the arraignment, I don't know, I didn't see the exact date. I don't think it's too far into the new year, but we'll keep posted. Marcus for $5. He's our legal rabbi. Go subscribe to Ron Coleman on his YouTube channel. There it is right there. And on X. Damn right, Marcus. Damn right. Marcus also for $5. Araxis isn't here. Play Stewie and Pedro. Oh, you son of a bitch. All right, fine. Just because it's you, Marcus, I will do this, and then we're going to get into this Brown story. I cannot believe you're actually... People were paying me not to play this crap. You're actually going to pay me to play this crap. And look, I have to do this for Marcus because Marcus is an awesome Valiant Renegade channel supporter, has been for years. Also an amazing wrench. And he is doing this to piss off Araxis. I'm sorry for the next 20 seconds.
I want to remind everyone that this is absolutely not gay.
Okay, everybody's sick of Pedro Pascal. You can blame Marcus Quintus for that one. I had nothing to do with it. He paid me to do it, and I'm just a YouTube whore. I mean, this is how it is. I get it. Archer says for $5, I feel like many dedications to his memory from certain parties have been hijacked by references of agenda for Reiner comes off as disingenuous. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen them. And again, I even mentioned this last night, that I feel bad having to say that though I disagreed with Rob Reiner politically on a lot of things, the problem is that so many people out there today are so freaking sensitive. Like, we can have conversations on this channel and the main channel about the crappiness of Hollywood politics and how it has degraded the culture. I should be able to just say Rob Reiner was an awesome dude, an awesome filmmaker, who had an amazing career, and his death was tragic and inexcusable. But there's so many people out there, unfortunately, to where if I don't say, hey, look, guys, look, we're on this channel. You know who I am. I'm a conservative. Rob Reiner wasn't. But I'm still adult enough to be able to respect the fact that a man's life and his wife's life was tragically, horrifically, and inexcusably ended, absent political disagreement. The problem is in 2025, you kind of have to say it. So some people, not everybody out there, I think most people in this audience are well aware that that's not how we roll, but you kind of got to say it these days for some people. I don't know, Ron, am I crazy on this one?
You know, if you have fans, you have people who know you, people who watch your channel, people who follow you on X, follow me on X, they know where we stand. Yeah. I must have sent 1 million meathead replies to Rob Reiner before it became just too old, too cliche to even go there.
I have punked Rob Reiner on X more times than I can imagine. Because he would always pop up in my feed. He'd make some stupid comment about Trump that I completely disagreed with, that I thought was politically idiotic. And then I would say, go back to Archie's house, meathead, or something, something stupid like that. But that doesn't mean that I devalued his life as a human being and that I can't sit here and mourn the loss of one of Hollywood's greatest talents ever. But some people out there that watch us, and again, 99% of y'all in the audience, I'm not talking about y'all. I know y'all do, but there's people out there that get a little kooky sometimes, and you kind of have to explain it to them like they're little babies, to say that we can still separate the actor from the person, or the actor from the performance. In this case, especially in this circumstance. So, any case, yeah. All right, Ron. Let's get to. Well, it just updated. Let's get to this. This Brown University thing is wild, absolutely wild. And apparently there's a press conference coming up. Law enforcement tonight has swarmed a storage facility, apparently in connection with this. Also, apparently, they seem to be alleging this is connected to a recent, another violent crime at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. There was some interesting stuff earlier this week from that perspective, and I got to scroll back here. But needless to say that there were several things out there with Brown University. There was, the internet comes alive, right? And they're going to go out there and they're going to find, hey, they're doing weird stuff out there. And you have this police chief. Brown University law enforcement seems to have been, some might argue, trying to do their jobs. Some might argue trying to cover because maybe the alleged suspect here is of a certain persuasion and holds certain political beliefs. Well, what do you think, Ron? You've seen the story so far. Where are you on this one?
Of all the things that I've seen, that has the potential to be phenomenally scandalous Because really, we're talking about after the fact stuff here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to blame Brown. Like, Brown University has been absolutely terrible with anti-Semitism.
Yes.
They don't, absolutely awful. But at the end of the day, a terrible person did a terrible thing.
Yes.
And I don't think he had to go to Brown to have become a terrible person. But the story that I have seen, I don't know if it's been confirmed, is that in August, a number of woke organizations demanded that Brown disable security cameras that might be used by ICE.
I saw that.
And allegedly Brown complied.
Yes. As a matter of fact, right here. This is what I was going to bring up. In fact, let me flip this around and share this as a Chrome tab so I can pull in the audio here. So exactly to what you said. And I was going to ask you about this because this is one of these kind of stories, Ron, that I look at and I think this is so bizarre as to beg the question of, is this even legitimate? Like, is this AI? Is this bullshit? Because it's so crazy. But you're right. This was from Right Angle News Network that posted it. Again, not to say it's right, wrong, and different. This is just what's out there. Breaking: a newly revealed letter points to confirmation of journalists' accusations that Brown University disabled campus CCTV, that's closed circuit television cameras, in August at the request of anti-ICE groups to protect leftist protesters and illegals. And this is, we go back to this press conference here.
Because the Sanctuary City law, the camera in that building, they Brown put off because the Sanctuary City law that we have. You don't want to record illegal immigrants.
He's saying, if you can't hear it, he's saying, turn the cameras off because of sanctuary city laws to not monitor illegal immigrants. Listen to it again. It's a little hard to hear. The guy asking the question is obviously off mic. He does have a Hispanic accent. It's thick. So it's just all combination of factors. A little difficult to discern, but listen carefully. That's what he's saying.
The camera in that building, they Brown put off because the Sanctuary City law that we have. You don't want to record illegal immigrants, and you don't want to provide the
You don't want to record illegal immigrants.
Footage to the FBI or immigration authority. One camera in that building, it come out from your detectives. They're a friend of mine. They're angry at this investigation that these people in Brown University put the camera off. They can identify that person. You imagine how the family is going to go through?
They're angry. He's saying people are angry that you had the cameras off because of your desire to not record illegal immigrants. And I'm paraphrasing here. Now we've had this tragedy this week, and now we don't have anything on campus active that should have been active to capture what went on, to more easily and more readily identify the suspect in this case.
Tell the truth to the media here. You guys are putting cameras off.
We heard from both the Brown police chief and the provost at Brown.
I mean, look, let me tell you what. This guy that comes up at the end, can we just say this? This is the whitest whitey make whiterton whitey make whiter motherfucker on earth. I mean, this guy exemplifies white ass New England pussies out there, more so than I've ever seen. This is the guy who is, if there is, y'all think out there in Renegade Nation, y'all think of the white woman liberal savior complex out there. This right here is the white woman savior complex looking dude. This is it. This is a white woman right here with the savior complex. He just exudes this. There have been so many questions this week, Ron, apart from this, but also this individual that everybody whose face they were putting out there earlier this week, this pro-Palestinian guy at Brown. Did you see?
Not so fast.
Well, we don't want to misgender people. Yeah, I get you. We don't want to misgender people. But I mean, this kind of thing out there, it was a little odd. And I'm not trying to be unfair. I'm not trying to, people use the word dox, I think, in this situation very legally incorrectly. This guy's public profile was just that. It was public. This is not doxing. His information was out there on the Brown website, which was strangely and surreptitiously deleted undercover, although the internet is forever and people figured this out. And this was, the FBI in coordination.
This face mask shit.
Yeah.
It's got to go.
It's got
to go.
It does. Let me tell you what. I'll put it this way. In Louisiana, if I went to the campus at LSU or Southeastern and I was walking around campus right after an active shooting incident with a mask on my face, I guarantee you.
Well, wait, that picture might have been before the shooting. No?
I don't know if this is before or after, but I mean, people are enhancing this. So this is what, again, and we don't know if this is the suspect or not. I want to make this clear, but for the point of academic conversation, the problem here, and this is all over the internet, is this individual, Mustafa Karbach, class of 27, okay, who is an anti-Israel, pro-Palestine, queer activist, whose body type and who has pictures on his profile apparently that seem to very, very conspicuously seem incredibly similar to the body profile, the gait, the appearance of the individual that law enforcement at Brown is searching for, and then at the same time, whose entire profile page on the official Brown University website was summarily deleted. It was yeeted 2 days ago as the search was ongoing. Raised the suspicion, and I would purport, understandably, of the internet who fit this thing. I don't know if this is the guy or not. I don't want to belabor the point because I certainly don't want to dwell over an individual who may or may not be involved in this situation. But it is curious as to how this went down. And the internet is absolutely going nuts over this. And there are administrative professionals at Brown University and law enforcement that are screaming about, hey, don't jump to conclusions. Don't keep posting this and that. But they're not, nobody is saying outright, this individual is not a suspect. This individual isn't the guy. It's like, and I understand that if this were 20 years ago, that might be a different story. But in 2025, when the internet can snap into action at this speed, I feel like, hey, look, if this is not a person of interest, if this is not a suspect, then just come out right and say it. Hey, internet, you got it wrong. We're not looking at this dude. His page was taken down because he dropped out of
their page.
Their page. I don't want to misgender.
You might be the last YouTuber who doesn't use their. I mean, I'm
sorry.
I cannot believe these massive multi-million corporate YouTube, masters of the universe who use their for for all for everyone, not just queer Palestinians, but
Yeah.
they have been so browbeaten.
Well,
into,
don't say that. I mean, they're not browbeaten, Ron. Queer Palestinians, they're usually not browbeaten.
No,
They're
no, no.
usually
I'm
just
talking about
thrown
the
off a
YouTuber.
roof.
I'm talking about the
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
No, Mustafa apparently beat his own brow with a sawed-off shotgun or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you.
But, you know, this whole story gets more and more bizarre. So, okay. So,
You think?
yeah, really. So what we have right now is, and let me go back to this. So, I mean, they're talking about the fact that I'm going to pull this other window back up. So it seems like they're saying the suspect in the Brown shooting has been ID'd. And this is what I thought about the story earlier. Just kind of walk down the progression map here. The suspect has been ID'd. Okay. And they were searching for him. No name was given. They just said, we ID'd him. We know who it is. Okay. And I can understand from law enforcement perspective, they don't want to instantly throw the name out there because if that individual, they'd rather keep that individual in the dark that they're looking for this person. So they're not alerted that that's who they're looking for. So it makes them easier to capture. Cool. I get it. But at the same time, look, Ron, let's be honest. How frequently have we seen, especially in the last few years, not only here in the United States, but throw in Great Britain, throw in most of Western Europe, when we have incidents that, quite frankly, involve extreme violence by individuals who identify as Islamic? There's a bit of a padding there to cover it up, because how many times have we heard, well, we certainly don't want to have this incident cause more Islamophobia?
Oh, you want to throw up the meme?
Yeah, I'll throw up the meme. Yeah, throw me the meme. I'll throw up the meme.
Yeah, because I don't have a keyboard, so I can't search for it. But it's the it's the by the way, it's not a technical the computer I'm using tonight doesn't have enough USB slots for the lights that I plugged in.
Do we? Okay, everybody send in money so we can buy Ron a new computer for Christmas. That's it.
No, it's a really good, one of the weak spots of this particular computer. Anyway,
Ron Coleman Computer Fund.
No.
Online right now.
I don't want your pity.
Oh, it's not pity.
Money.
You got to look, let me tell you what, Ron. I didn't expect anything. One thing I've learned is that like, I make the jokes all the time. D-Day Cobra, Jeremy, my bro, taught me how to grift. Now, I don't intentionally grift. It just happens. Like yesterday, I put up the picture of my daughter's car that was destroyed. I'm like, yep, this is, and it really is. I wasn't making this up. Like every year at Christmas, something blows up in my face. I thought the blow up in my face was next week. Mrs. Renegade has to have a surgery the day before Christmas Eve. She's going to be fine. She's got it's a gallbladder removal. It's been giving her radically high blood pressure. Like I had to take Mrs. Renegade to the emergency room about a month ago because she had a 180 over 120 blood pressure. I mean, it was like, okay, her heart was about to explode in her chest. Ooh. It was bad. So it turned out that she's got gallstones the size of my fist, so she's got to get the gallbladder out.
In there.
Right? So my point is I figured, okay, that is my crazy Christmas thing this year because I always have something blow up my face. Then Sparkle Bitch got into the wreck Tuesday. Wasn't her fault, thank God. She wasn't injured, thank God. Nobody was hurt, thank God. But the car was ripped apart. And I put the pictures up and I told everybody, it's like, this is why I didn't do a video. The chat lit up. Last night, I think they sent in like $400 for the new car fund. So, like, I didn't ask him for this, but the chat loves the direct, like people will send in money because it's like if you tell them, hey, look, send in super chats. This is what we're doing with it. They just like to.
Yeah,
be
no, I get it.
told,
It's part of the participation.
Boom! Ham the third for $100. The Ron Coleman Computer Fund. There it is. This is what I'm talking about. See, this is it.
Ham, thank you so much. It's Coleman with an E though, and it's important that I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, but the SEO demands that I clarify. But
yeah.
Thank you very much. I really Ham the third.
Yes, Ham the third, longtime Valiant Renegade fan.
What's the joke, or is it an inside joke?
I'll let Ham tell you. Yeah, he can explain it. But no, this is my point. We have a great audience. They love to support things. And like when I earlier in the year, I was like, hey, Renegade Jr. is trying to start a new lawn care business. He's kind of coming of age to where he can run around the neighborhood. I was like, look, we're gonna buy him a lawnmower, a weed whacker, and all the kind of stuff, and then I'm gonna go find a used golf cart to where he can tow it around the neighborhood. So we bought a used golf cart to where we hitched a trailer that could carry all the lawn equipment so he could drive around the neighborhood himself to do his lawn care business. Let me tell you what, my chat, Renegade Nation, sent in like $2,000 over the course of a month to pay for all the gear for Renegade Jr.'s new business. So like when you ask them, like instead of, people love to send in super chats to talk, but what I found is the audience really loves to do something specific for the shows they watch. And that's what I love about it. It's like people out there like to know that when they send their money in, what it's going to. So even in general, like I tell them, like, look, hey guys, when you send in super chats, like right now, you send in super chats, I'm trying to rebuild my main channel. You're trying to build your channel. I'm trying to build Renegade Nation here too. The money that goes in goes right into feeding, Jonas J. Campbell, for example, who is, helping me rebuild the main channel, editing all the original content that I do now. So
and who, by the way, Jonas, he looks like he could use a hamburger.
Jonas needs to cut back on the hamburger. And he won't mind me saying that because he know we've been joking about I need to cut back on the hamburgers too. Jonas, I love you, Jonas. But yes, you need to cut back on the hamburgers. We all do. So thank you, Ham the Third. You are outstanding, sir. Let me give you a little something special. I tell you what, we're gonna give you the last piece of Whites Only Laundry.
Hi, it's Tom again. I'm so sorry. I feel terrible. Obviously, changing the name only made things worse, and neither one of those are appropriate names for a laundromat or any business or anything. But I'm gonna make things right. First, for the African American community, I've installed a special side entrance so that you'll know you're definitely welcome in my laundromat. Also, I've set aside separate but equally powerful washing machines exclusively for your use in the back of the laundromat, although they still only wash white clothes. And this time, to ensure I don't upset or disrespect anyone, I'm naming it after myself. And since my sister just had a baby, everybody come on down to Uncle Tom's Laundromat. Remember, whites only, no coloreds, and blacks enter through a special side entrance.
Come on down to Uncle Tom's Laundry, where blacks enter through a special side.
The guy who did that, he's pretty talented.
Oh, and let me tell you what, that video is from probably not too far off, like probably within 5 years of barbecue and foot massage. Like that, when I say the OG days of YouTube, that was the OG days of YouTube. Like Uncle Tom's, like that video was probably at least probably 15, if not more years old. So I miss those days. I miss, because that one, it was just goofy and funny. All right. Thank you, Ham the Third. We appreciate you. All right. So there is a press conference that is set to happen here. I don't know if, I don't think it's up yet. I think it's still awaiting.
When
No, here it is.
Incidents
This is it.
like this happen, law enforcement steps up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel. General Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. You know, I would describe the emotions on the investigative team, including our prosecutors and the agents, detectives from both state police, Providence, as mixed. You know, there is a sense of completeness in terms of the investigation, an investigation that's, if not the hardest, among the handful of hardest investigations that I've ever been involved with. And the sense that we owed those 2 dead Brown students and the 9 injured Brown students and the students who were in that auditorium that weren't injured, and the Brown community and the Providence community results. The teams worked really hard. I think I mentioned that to you almost every night that we met with you. I wish they were all up here with us. That we wouldn't fit here, but it was remarkable to see the cooperation between the FBI agents, the ATF agents, the HSI agents, the Providence police detectives, the state police detectives, our prosecutors. And I will say that everybody brought a certain expertise to the table, but it is nevertheless a sad moment when you think about those young people who were hurt, injured, or worse. 2 of them are now deceased. You know, to me, this was always going to be an investigation where something was going to break it open. We were going to pull threads. We were going to gather evidence that would lead us in a particular direction. And I will say that if we were with you less than, well, I guess now more than 24 hours ago.
All right, let me just pause this for a second. So it has been confirmed, and this was probably confirmed earlier in the press conference. Here, I'm going to switch over from Nick Sorter. So, and I see people have been mentioning this in the chat. I've been trying to find it because I didn't want to speak out of school. But indeed, the alleged shooter, the suspect in this case, has been found dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound inside of the storage facility that police were targeting for investigation, either through search warrant or capture of the suspect. Found dead inside of a self-inflicted gunshot wound inside of a storage facility in Salem, New Hampshire, as per Fox. So that is where we are. Now, as far as I know, the identity of this suspect has not yet been released. Now, let me say this. With all of the pushback from Brown University and the Providence, Rhode Island police in the last couple of days over the internet's, albeit very aggressive posture and questioning over the certain individual that we pulled up on the screen earlier, whose personal profile was suspiciously and quite frankly very conspicuously deleted from the Brown profile page, a very pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel, anti-Semitic individual. We don't know if it is that person or not. If it turns out to be that individual, which again, we don't know if it is. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying if it turns out to be that individual, the amount of egg on face for law enforcement and Brown University is going to be of epic proportions. We'll find out. Hopefully, they will release the name of this individual soon so that we will know. But Ron, what do you think? What's going on here?
What do I think is going on?
Yeah, and any thoughts on the situation right now?
Nothing that we haven't already said. I mean, these institutions, Brown University, Providence, Rhode Island, almost everything in Rhode Island, in fact, have surrendered. I mean, listen, like I said before, this guy, this weirdo from another country, came here, was given resources, shelter, opportunities, and this is New England, by the way. This is ancient America. This isn't California. These people made it possible for him to kill. Yes, the responsibility is his, but just so much of what has gone down here is so damning to the state of our civilization right now.
So we do have an update, and I want to be fair because again, we're trying to track this in real time, and it's difficult to do as we're conducting a live show, trying to fetter through this. But to go back to Nick Sorter again, who's doing this moment by moment, just 2 minutes ago. So as we were saying this, major breaking: the Brown University shooting suspect has been identified by authorities as Claudio Neves Valente of Portugal, not even American. So again, this is one of those things, and I think I've got the audio queued up here. So let me pull it. This is from the police chief. I don't know if I'm guessing I think he's the police chief of Providence, or I don't know if he's the Brown University campus police chief, but I think he's Providence.
An individual was identified as Claudio Neves Valente, date of birth, and he was a 48-year-old man. He was a Brown student. He was a Portuguese national, and his last known address was in Miami, Florida. And I will tell you that he took his own life tonight. We have members of the Providence Police Department up in Salem, New Hampshire, and we also have the BCI unit. Obviously, the FBI and their evidence recovery unit is up there, so the process is being conducted as we speak. And it goes without saying that I would like to personally thank the efforts that put him.
Okay, so a Portuguese national, as per the police chief of Providence, Rhode Island, apparently not an American citizen, a 48-year-old motherfucker is older than me, and I'm pretty old. Maybe not as old as Ron Coleman, but
who is?
Yeah, a 48-year-old student at Brown, okay, from Portugal, who shot the place up. So as of right now, official law enforcement reports it is not the same individual that was the internet threw out there the other day. And we want to be totally fair. But again, a little cuckoo that they, at the same time the campus was being shot up, they got rid of the profile page of one of the most radicalized Islamists, my words, that they had on campus. So who also physically fit the visual camera footage that they put out of the suspect. I'm just throwing that out there.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
And as we prepare to sign off, we should, on a positive note, besides the fact that this scumbag, by every indication, killed himself.
Yeah.
Apparently, both Ben Shapiro and Michael Knowles have lit up America Fest tonight.
America Fest.
The the TPUSA event.
Oh.
Just absolutely. I mean, people are.
Where was that?
Where was that? I don't
like
know.
Geographically. They were hosting in Florida?
I think so.
Okay. I didn't know about it. I wasn't aware.
Well, You and I don't get invited to things.
We're not cool. We're not cool. We're not cool like some other people out there that get invited to these things. Maybe one day we'll be cool enough. Maybe.
Nah.
Not really. Not really.
Yeah, but so the question then is, that weirdo, the other guy.
Yeah.
Like you said, what's his story? What's his, let's see how those dots connect or don't.
That's it. And I mean, look, they're showing more footage here. The Brown University shooting suspect who's just been found dead, not a U.S. citizen per Fox Boston. Halt all immigration now, send them all back. This is as per Nick Sorter. And look, let me ask you this as we kind of wind down here, Ron. And there's a lot of this discussion today. This might be a good closer. We're going to get to some super chats here. I'll tell you what, let me get to some super chats first, and then I'll ask the question. Let me get these. Marcus Quintus for $5 with FRT triggers. You can have fun until you either run out of ammo or you run out of money. Yes, this is true. You will run out of ammo and money with a 5.7 far faster because I put an FRT trigger on that Banshee, and it is a bitch when you shoot it. It is awesome. That being said, an FRT trigger on an MP5, a 9mm, and an FRT trigger on a 5.56 AR-15, it's a lot cheaper, especially the 9mm, and it's so much fun, especially with a big old suppressor on the front, baby. Subsonic ammo. Awesome. Staccato for $10. What's this about another dentist? I'm sorry. Staccato, if you want to send me your information as to where you practice, I will gladly come up and see you, brother. No, the dentist that I went to go see today to have the filling or my filling replaced, this is really cool. So his dad is like a legend in New Orleans. And my wife and my mother and father-in-law have been patients of the dad for, I'm not kidding, like 40 years, over 40 years. The son went into practice, and he's taken over daddy's practice as daddy's retiring now. Daddy's probably like almost 80 years old, or close to it, maybe 75. And the son is set up a practice in a New Orleans suburb closer to where I live. So all the kids, like my wife, even after we got married, living, away from where, they still went into New Orleans, like mid-city New Orleans, to go to this particular dentist. So his son is now practicing. So I'm now a patient of the son. Great dude. But Staccato, dude, you tell me where you are. You can be my dentist. As long as I can get out there. Don't tell me you're in California, you son of a bitch. I know you're not. Marcus Quintus for $5 says, the lawyer who parties with the vice president needs a new computer membership. There you go. That's it. Whoever wants to send in the computer fund for Ron Coleman right now, we are taking $50, $100, $200, $300, and $400 donations in super chats right now to get Ron Coleman a new computer that has USB-C ports on it. Because, look, let me tell you what. If there's anything that's more dinosaur than Ron Coleman, it's his fucking computer. So all of this, you send it into Ron Coleman's channel, you send it into mine. It's going to Ron.
I'm willing to take this humiliation because I might make a few more dollars.
There you go. It's just like a lawyer, man. It's like,
I'm not good at this, actually.
This is how you grift, baby. This is how you grift. Ham the third for $2. Suspect found dead in storage unit. Yep, indeed. So, going back to the question here, though, Ron, there is this idea that, and this is going to be the next wave. This is going to be, I believe, as a closer here, just some final thoughts, a huge conversation in the next 12 months leading up to midterms. This idea of America first, I think, is paramount. But for some people out there, they're going to take the idea of America first and turn it into, or of course they already have, America first as racists who hate brown people. There is something to be said for, hey, look, this is, yes, a country built on immigration, a country built on immigrants. But when we had mass immigration in the early 20th century, we didn't have huge welfare programs either. And there's so many people coming into America today by design, mostly by the Democrat Party. They're coming here. They're siphoning massive amounts of taxpayer dollars from working Americans. Are we going to see a turn in this country where the majority, and maybe we're already there, Ron, that are going to shift to saying, you know what, maybe it's time to really just take a pause on immigration of all sorts until we can absorb and assimilate everybody that have been brought in that aren't going to get shipped off by ICE?
First, we have to move in the direction of making majorities matter.
Yeah.
That's going to happen when the Supreme Court addresses the Voting Rights Act case, when Harmeet Dillon gets the voter roll information from the states that she's now suing them right and left to get.
Yep. Amen to that.
If we, in the next few years, are able to move in the direction of the democracy that our system is actually meant to produce, then the answer to that is yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, there it is.
Yeah, this is it. And you know, to that end, let me ask you this. Your opinion, Ron Coleman, because this is going to be maybe the question of the 21st century, because this is going to have look, we've had a lot of big cases decided recently, no doubt. But I would suggest that the issue of quote unquote, and I do mean quote unquote, birthright citizenship is potentially going to be a ground shift, depending on how the Supreme Court rules. Ground shifting either way. You know, you talk about the 14th Amendment. I look at it because, and I tell people all the time, I've had the conversations with my children, with clients, with friends. Hey, look, there's a reason the 14th Amendment followed not long after the 13th Amendment that freed the slaves. And that the 14th Amendment was was meant to address the issue of slaves in this country that had been freed and the children born to them that were here. Am I crazy to think that America never intended for foreign folks, not citizens of this country, to just be able to show up, especially in an illegal fashion, drop a baby out, and become citizens? I mean, because I don't think that's what the intention of the 14th Amendment was. But where do you think this argument is going to go? Because I think indelibly this is going to the Supreme Court.
It's a tough, I mean, the argument is a very solid one. The question is, does even the Supreme Court have the ability to make that radical of a tidal
Well, they have the ability, right?
It'll be a tidal wave. It'll be an earthquake.
Yeah, I think, Ron, they certainly have the ability. I would surmise to make the delineation or the distinction here. Can I ask you? Do you mean? Let's use it in frank terminology. Do they have the fucking balls?
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly what I meant. So I do think that they have been emboldened in the last year.
Yeah.
I think that you guys, people who've heard me on your show say this before. 6-3. Once Roberts realized the best he was going to do on these cases was 6-3, and that it was going to be 6-3, I think he started lining up the wins, and that might be how this one goes.
It may well be. I mean, I think. Is there, if am I mistaken, is there a case now that is pending before the Supreme Court for this? We lost Ron. We lost Ron. Ron left abruptly. Ron, did you just yeet yourself? You know what it is? I'm going to tell you what it is. I did not yeet Ron. But I'm going to put this down here for this reason. Send super chats for the Ron Coleman Computer Fund. Because clearly this son of a bitch's computer where did Ron go? He vanished quickly. I'm going to give Ron a chance to get back in here. I have no idea. But y'all send in money for the Ron Coleman Computer Fund. You guys have been incredibly generous tonight. There's Ron Coleman. We lost him. This is why we need money for the Ron Coleman Computer Fund. Did you yeet yourself, or did you just drop?
Yeah, okay. I closed the wrong tab.
All right. Now I've done that before.
But perhaps it is a suggestion that it is getting late here for old people on the East Coast. So thank you for once again allowing me to share the platform with you. Thanks to everyone at the generous gifts tonight.
Yes.
I will use them to scrape together a few, wires and tubes.
There's still a chance to send in your Christmas money right now or your Hanukkah money right now for Ron Coleman's Computer Fund before we close the show. And we will send it to Ron. If you're not watching it on Ron, you can super chat Ron directly on his channel. Send it here. We'll send it over to Ron. No problem.
All right.
So anyway, thank you, Ron everyone. Coleman. Thank you, Renegade Nation. We appreciate you guys.
So it's the 18th. So next week is Christmas Thursday night. So I assume we're not going to be on the air.
No, we will probably not be on. If I hop on Thursday, if I'm on YouTube, it's going to be a very casual stream. I have half of mine night.
Maybe you'll just cut it over to me and I'll do it like I used to do with the radio station in Princeton. We'll have B'nai B'rith.
I'll put it this way. That night, that Thursday night, I might just do, because Mrs. Renegade has her surgery the day before Christmas Eve.
Oh.
So we're not going to be doing Christmas Eve with the family. Like, my kids are going to take off. They're going to go to the grandparents' house. We're going to stay home. I'm going to stay home with Mrs. Renegade while she's resting up. But that Christmas night, I have half of mine to where, like, if the kids are back home and we're chilling on the couch, we might do like a brief impromptu, and this might be a members only thing where me and the 3 Renegade kids will be on the couch, like chilling out in pajamas or something, and we'll chat with you guys. So y'all stay tuned. Get on the regular channel for that. Might be fun. So we'll see. So if you do something Christmas night, you let me know. We'll send some people over your way.
Thank you. Okay, we'll talk to you later.
All right.
Good
Ladies
night,
and gentlemen,
everyone.
thank you for being here. God bless.
Happy holidays.
That's right. We'll see you in a couple of weeks because, next week, Christmas, week after New Year's Day.
Woo!
So we'll see you in the new year. Take care.